Mets and Yankees still struggling. It's August. When is that going to stop? Mets lose a heartbreaker. Yankees lose a heartbreaker. Two completely different ways. That is the art of baseball. Diaz looked good, though. Pete Alonso looked good. Devin Williams blows yet another game as the Yankees bullpen implodes. Has Aaron Boone ran his course? And will Aaron Judge's return to the lineup be the saving grace that we think it can be? How much longer do the Mets tread above water before falling too far back of the Phillies? Red Sox are hot. Phillies are hot. Kyle Schwarber is making an MVP bid. Where do we stand on the Cubs? In the end of show segment, new one today, Jeremy's going to be guessing a random stat that I just found out about last night and his top 5 players in that stat. And if you get the definition, that's a lot, but No Good Take starts right now. Jeremy, welcome on in. Episode 17. Mets and Yankees both lose some stinkers last night, but before any of that, do you still have sanity left? How are you doing?
No, I can't put into words. I want to rip my hair out. Luckily enough for me, I was coaching last night, so I couldn't watch the game. But as soon as I pulled up to my house, getting back home from Center Reach, I checked, took my phone off the charger and saw a walk-off home run, Josh Young. Rangers win 8-5.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah, and obviously I was keeping score of the game on my phone while I was coaching. I saw, the Yankees took the lead in the first, and then it was back and forth, and then they're up 5-4. So the first thing that came to my mind was, how did they blow the lead? Like, how did this game get tied? And then I went into our group chat, whatever, and I saw the name Devin Williams, and I should have just known before. Before I even had to check. But yeah, watching back the replay of the walk-off home run by Josh Young, and then finding out that the fact they walked Wyatt Langford before that happened, it hurts, because it feels like whatever decision the Yankees make nowadays just comes back to bite them. It's just really unfortunate watching the new bullpen guys just completely blow up.
Well, the super pen for the Yankees, and we've already seen our first emotion. I didn't even know this until you told me right before the show. Jake Bird optioned for AAA.
Yeah, he didn't even last a week, and he
had 2 appearances.
Yeah, I think maybe 3. Did he pitch last night?
He pitched last night. Would that be his third one?
Third, because he had 2 in Miami. His second one was good.
Okay, see, I didn't hear about the second one.
He gave up the homer to Young?
He gave up the home run, yes.
Again, it just goes back to the fact that Yankees are not good in extra innings, especially on the road. They are so bad on the road in extra innings. Because, with the ghost runner, especially being the away team, you really have to put emphasis on getting that guy over with less than 2 out. The leadoff guy, in my opinion, regardless of who it is, unless it's Judge, Ohtani, Schwarber, Soto, unless it's anyone but those guys, it should just be a bunt or a ground ball to the right side. Do something to get the guy over to third base, then hit a sac fly. At least give yourself a chance if you have to go to the bottom half.
Yeah, the Yankees' situational hitting has quietly not been good, and it's not a thing. And it's been overshadowed again by all the other underlying issues about this team. You saw the base running errors in Miami again, and the bullpen continues to shake. And look, new guys in the bullpen, I understand it takes time to get situated. You got a new staff to work with. It's a new change of scenery. You haven't even been back home yet in the Bronx, and you're already seeing somebody get optioned. But you got to be a little patient with them. I'm not as worried about them as I am about the already underlying issues, because those have been all season. If you want to date back to last year, you can as well, which is even more concerning. But, I think the last of Yankees fans' worry should be that super pen. I use that in quotations right now because I haven't been pitching like it. You still have your starters that you somewhat rely on. And, you have some top guys in that pen that you got for good prices. Be patient. I really do think they'll come back around. It's just a matter of getting situated. And for guys like Devin Williams, I think the ship has sailed perhaps on that. I don't know. But especially for Duvall, Jake Bird, who got sent down, I'm sure he'll be back up before you know it. And David Bednar, relax. We'll be okay with these guys. They'll be fine.
Yeah, and it's tough because you pretty much have 4 closing pitchers. I mean, you have Williams, you have Weaver, you have Bednar, and you have Doval. Those 4 guys last year were their closers on their respective teams. Even Bednar and Doval this year were their closers on the teams that they were on before they got traded. My whole thing is like Williams lost the job in May, maybe June, and Weaver got hurt, so he was forced back into the role. But Weaver's back. And we saw what he did in the playoffs last year. He was lights out. And then you still have Bednar and you have Doval. I don't understand why they keep putting this guy into the role. I saw John Boy put out a video last night, and I think he put it perfectly. He has no mound presence. Like, he just looks like he doesn't want to be out there. I saw it in person last Wednesday when they took the lead in the bottom of the 8th against Tampa. Then Williams goes out there, walks the leadoff guy, then gives up a 400-foot bomb to Josh Lowe. He has no mound presence. He looks like he doesn't really want to be out there, and it looks like he doesn't really care. So even from just like the eye tests, it doesn't look like he fits the mold of being the closer of the New York Yankees. And granted, his contract's expiring at the end of the year, so I definitely don't think he'll be back. But for a guy who's already lost the job, his confidence is totally shot. He has not been anything close to what he normally is in years past. And they traded for 2 other closing pitchers at the deadline. So I'm sure mentally he's fried, just like multiple other guys on the Yankees team. But yeah, that the Williams ship has definitely sailed. It's unfortunate because the trade was fantastic. You gave up Cortez, you gave up Durbin. Cortez just got traded last week to San Diego. So the Yankees definitely, on paper, won the deal. But having a guy in your bullpen close games with a 7 ERA it's not winning baseball.
And especially Cashman knew what he was doing at the deadline. For the pieces that he traded for, those are guys that you have control over for the next couple of years. So if you're going to let Devin Williams walk at the end of the season, which I'm sure you will by his performance, you have now a couple of guys that you have full control in, and they're going to remain Yankees for the next 1 or 2 years, and that is your solution. Now, I said earlier in the year that Yankees fans should want Luke Weaver to go into the closing role and never look back for a few reasons. One, he's just a better pitcher than Devin Williams at the end of the day in these high leverage situations. 2, he's going to be a cheaper price than Devin Williams. If Williams really figured it out, which he did for a little bit, and stayed this high-end closer for the entirety of the season, bringing him back would have been way more money than Luke Weaver. He's a bigger name. So Devin Williams slotting out of the closer role, and if you can do good as a setup guy, and if he can become some sort of bridge guy, then maybe you can bring him back for a cheaper price. But how Cashman has been operating and the kind of bullpen arms he brought in, high-end closers, high-end relievers with club control, there really is no reason to bring Devin Williams back. I'm sure he's going to lose that closing role again because as the Yankees sit right now, what are they, 10 or 11 games over 500? It doesn't feel like it.
I think they're like 8 games over.
8 now? Wow. They're sliding. Okay.
60 and 52, maybe 60 and 53.
So, wow, they are really sliding. And, Jeremy, look at the standings. This is a huge series against the Rangers. And it's another scenario for the Yankees. If you have a really bad week and the teams that you need to lose have a really good week, you could be on the outside looking in again. They haven't done that really all season, but they've been on the precipice of now, 2 or 3 times. Boston shot over them. Texas is on their tail. Seattle will eventually climb over them. It's the ball's in your court. You're controlling your destiny right now, and it has not been good.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it just falls on the organization as a whole. Like from high A ball to the major leagues, the Yankees organization just doesn't preach doing the little things right. I know we harp on this every single week, but it's a baseball team who can't pitch, who can't play defense, who can't hit, who can't run the bases. You're not going to win like that. You're not going to win baseball games like that. Every single night there's talks of firing your manager if you need to send your shortstop down to the minors, or if your left fielder really is as good as he's supposed to be. It's every night there's a new topic, and it's like the biggest news. It gets the back cover of the Daily News every day, and it's all you hear about is all this negative stuff. It's impossible to overcome every day mentally. Listen, not even a week ago, Yankee fans were on top of the world thinking, this is the World Series push. These are the guys who we needed to get over the hump, and now we're going to get hot. And you go into Miami, you lose Friday night in heartbreaking fashion. You put up 12 runs. That should be good against anyone. And of course, three new bullpen arms implode. Jose Cabrera looked like he won the game for the Yankees, and then in the bottom of the 10th inning, I believe it was, he lost the game for the Yankees. And then Saturday, Sunday, offense doesn't show up. You get swept out of Miami, and then you go into Texas, lose game 1 in heartbreaking fashion, which is kind of what happened to them last year too. It was a little later. It was like early September, but they went into Texas last year on a skid, and they had a lead pretty much most of the game. And bottom of the 9th inning, their lovely ex-closer, who is pitching tonight for the New York Mets, Clay Holmes, came in, gave a walk-off home run. It may have been to Wyatt Langford. I think it was. I remember watching it up in Utica. But it's just brutal, man. It's not enjoyable to watch. I'm sure it's not enjoyable to be on the field playing. And again, every night there's just a new biggest topic. And obviously, they all have Twitter, all these guys. They all know what's going on in the paper. So overcoming that mentally is probably nearly impossible.
And you know what? I'm going to pose a question to you, Jeremy. But before I do that, I know we always use the moniker of New York media, and it expands things 100% worse than what it really is. But you can't even say that anymore. I know we like to talk about New York media and how it's the toughest place to play. But if this was some small market team like the Pirates, and this kept on happening, it would be the same light. This isn't a bug bite of the New York media anymore. Like, this is just making main headline news because nothing has changed.
Right.
So my question to you is, and before I ask it, for anybody watching, if we make this a clip later, this is a complete hypothetical. We are not saying this will happen, nor are we calling for this to happen. It is a complete hypothetical, so please shut up before you go to the comments. If you are a fan of the Yankees, which you tend to be, would you rather see the Yankees lose out and miss the playoffs if it forced change, or they go on another deep run at a chance at a World Series, but the core stays the same and these fundamentals stay the same? And you're not guaranteed the World Series, you just have a chance at it.
Well, when you say core, who does that mean?
You were saying all your same players. Like, players stay.
And does that include staff? Like Cashman and Boone?
That includes everybody. That includes everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of beat around the bush last week, but no, I wouldn't be opposed if it's red pill or blue pill, and it's the blue pill Yankees make another deep run with the same staff, same roster, or you take the red pill and it's a reset, and they missed the playoffs this year, and then it's kind of a rebuild. I would take the rebuild because it's this brand of baseball that they are making us watch on an everyday basis is disgusting. Going into places like Miami, where you should be rolling these teams over. You're the New York Yankees. You're, the biggest market in the MLB, potentially the biggest market in all of sports, and you can't beat the Miami Marlins, and you can't play defense, and you can't run the bases. If it meant that they missed the playoffs and the rest of the season ends in a horrific fashion, if that allows them to, rebuild and fire Boone and fire Cashman and bring in a new staff and new players, I would totally be all for that. It almost makes too much sense to do that because of how bad they have been for the past 2+ months.
And now what we do know is nothing will change. Even if that does happen, the Yankees lose out, the most they will do is fire Boone. That's as far as they'll go. Cashman will be in that chair till the day he dies. And I know what Cashman came out and said after the deadline and the Yankees were still losing. He said, look, we got the pieces to be a winning team. Like, was that a backhanded jab at Boone and what he's done? I don't know. But I didn't really like what he said there for the sole purpose of now we have it. Well, we've been on Cashman all season and a half dating back to last year of this roster construction is not good. You didn't have a single guy to get Volpe off of his feet, and he's been struggling all season long. Your shortstop leads the major leagues in errors, and you're telling me you don't have one guy who could slip into his position to take him off his feet? That's bad. Yeah, you have guys like, you go.
Okay, well, I think you brought up a good point. The way they constructed the roster is terrible. It's been this way for years. You don't have you don't really have like infielders. You have guys who just can't play the outfield. Like, I mean, I guess up until the deadline, right? Because you had Jazz at third, you had Volpe at short, who has been struggling mightily. I don't even know who was playing second, and you have Goldschmidt at first, who's fine. So you have a legit like first baseman, and then everyone else is a question mark. And yes, you go to the deadline, you get McMahon who could play third, you slide Jazz back over to second, but it still doesn't erase the huge question mark in Anthony Volpe, because when he was called up and skipped AAA, he went straight from AA right to the major leagues, and his whole thing was he's going to play great defense, he's going to get on base, and he's going to steal a lot of bases. I have yet to see those three things happen consistently in his 2.5, 2 3/4 year career. And like you said, they don't have anyone behind him. You have Peraza or Jorbit Vivas. I mean, they're not going to give you anything better, and they're also worse offensively. So, like you said, the way they constructed the roster for this past season, but years prior to that has been terrible. And I tell you, there has to be in the Yankees front office, room, wherever it is, there's got to be a big red button that just says like a reset on it, and they have to hit that button as hard as they possibly can in order to bring back Yankees baseball. Because even when we were growing up, like the Yankees were like they were feared. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, "Oh, the Yankees are coming to town. Like we're not going to win these games." You know what I mean? And now the Yankees they go down to Miami and they get laughed out of town by the 2025 Miami Marlins.
They were the standard. The New York Yankees, from us growing up to even when we saw them get into the World Series, they were the standard. And now the three magic words in all of sports, Yankees have got to be tempted, blow it up. I mean, obviously you're not going to blow it up if you're the Yankees. You still have the best hitter in baseball, obviously the best guy in baseball, and Aaron Judge. You can't blow it up as long as you have him still on your team. And look, I know the Yankees had their vision of Oswaldo Cabrera was going to be a great infielder. You had the vision of when DJ LeMahieu returned, you'd slot him into second base. How did that turn out? He got DFA'd. Mm-hmm. And obviously you can't control what happened to Cabrera, but it's just that why was this your plan? You just went to the World Series and Bunk brought it up. No, you brought it up. You brought it up. Your plan from even last year, Anthony Rizzo was at first base. Alex Verdugo was in the outfield. Two guys without a job this year.
Yep.
And they were starting games for you in the World Series last year. And that was the mighty plan to replace Rizzo with Goldschmidt. As it looked great in the beginning, how has that fizzled out? And again, your guy to back him up was Ben Rice, a natural catcher, who is going to be catching because Austin Wells has become
sucks.
He's become a black hole in that lineup.
It's terrible, dude.
Your plan was to have some of these young guys really mold out, which I can't say I blame you for because the Mets were doing the same thing, but it hasn't worked. And it's not – the hitting is one thing. You know, Jason Dominguez out there hitting, and he's had his stretches. That's one thing. But you have guys who have just struggled to play routine defense. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. You know, you could look around the league and guys make errors all the time. Beatty made the game-losing throwing error over to second base, but those things happen. Those are tough plays. But you have guys like Dominguez who have trouble tracking routine fly balls. Anthony Volpe, who can't charge a ground ball to save his life. These are the issues with the Yankees. Slumps are one thing. Bullpen implosions are one thing. Those things come and go. It's part of the game. But this is what's supposed to be something you control all the time. And you can't. And that is why the Yankees are not a winning baseball team. The controllable aspects of the game have been out of their hands for the last year and a half.
Yeah, and I think internally a conversation needs to be had with the New York Yankees. I mean, I forget where I saw it or who put it out there, but it was a ranking of like the minor league systems, and the Yankees were 24th. So in my mind, the Yankees, they just go off like names. You know what I mean? Like you hear Jason Dominguez, you hear Anthony Volpe, you hear Oswaldo Cabrera. You're like, all right, these guys are like, they're fun. You know, they're fun to watch. It's going to be good baseball. But internally, like the Yankees themselves, but it's an organization that can't run the bases, that can't hit situationally, who can't pitch, and who can't play defense. Like the entire organization itself, from the janitor at high A to Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman, it needs to be changed. Everything that they can control, like you said, they aren't controlling. Defense has been a problem. Situational hitting has been a problem. Base running has been a problem. We saw it last Wednesday night. Bottom of the ninth inning, 1 out. Grisham squares to bunt. Beautiful bunt, by the way. And then Wells, who was on first, moved to second base and then thought there was 3 outs. Why would a guy be bunting with 2 outs? Why would Trent Grisham be bunting with 2 outs? The internal mechanism of the New York Yankees organization needs to be completely reconstructed. And obviously that's not easy. It's a lot easier said than done. But the Yankees have to reset. Obviously, again, last week we were on top of the world thinking, this is a World Series push. These 3 bullpen guys and the bats they got, like this is now a baseball team. Again, if they have a good week, maybe we're talking about that again. But where we are right now, where we stand right now on Tuesday, August 5th at 11:23 a.m., it feels like the Yankees need to, like you said, blow it up. And that sucks because you never want to say that about your favorite team. You never want to say that about a team like the New York Yankees. But at the end of the day, like you have to compete to win championships. That's the whole Yankees brand. And with what they have right now, they can't. They can't do that.
You can't take a step back. You don't have contracts to take a step back. I mean, this is how I look at it with the Yankees in the game of baseball. Because as long as you don't have a salary cap, you will never have teams go in and out of contending. As long as you could pay guys, you'll always be contending. The Yankees will always be contending till the day that we die, till our children die, so on and so on. Yankees will always be in some form of contention. That's just how it is. And you're going to have teams better than others, but you're going to have teams that need to figure it out. I don't even know how to word it at this point. Like, this is a team that, like, on paper is great. And this is a team where if I just showed you a lineup and I showed you bullpens in the rotation, you'd say, wow, they're going to blow most of these guys out of the water. They're more talented than Toronto. They have more talent than Boston, but they sit behind them in the standings because you have baseball teams and you have the Yankees. You have baseball teams and you have baseball players that just all wear the same uniform.
Yep. It's a bunch of individuals
just what it seems like.
Same logo.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You have anything else on the Yankees? I feel like we just hit a wall with these guys. Every conversation about them is always the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing every week. I mean, when you can't play defense and you can't run the bases and you can't pitch, you're not going to win. And until they figure it out on the field, which, again, we're in August now. It's early August, and they still haven't figured it out. They've been slumping for 2+ months. I think, since late May, early June, they've been slumping. At the end of the day, it's just a question of when is it going to get fixed or if it'll get fixed. And to be frankly honest with you, I don't think it can get fixed with what they have. I think if they continue to, run out the lineup they have with Aaron Boone, and again, I like Aaron Boone. I think he's a good baseball mind. I don't think he's a good manager. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yes.
But he's not a good manager. He can't manage a bullpen. I don't like the way he constructs the lineup. I don't like his decisions with, pinch hitting and defensive placements, things like that. Listen, I think he should have been fired years ago. And they're not going to fire him mid-season. They would have done it by now. I think whoever wins the World Series this year, after the season concludes, you give it maybe a week or two, and you can Boone. You let him go. And you just have to slowly find the fitting puzzle pieces that can make this a baseball team again, not a bunch of baseball players wearing the same uniform and hat.
And there's plenty of options around the league, but there's 2 problems, and Bunk and Mike brought it up on Burrows the other day, so I won't really harp on it too long. But if you're the Yankees and you do end up getting a new manager, you're going to get some form of yes man, because that's what it seems to be. I mean, look, I really think that Girardi's last couple of years, people really hated him. But Girardi is somebody that Yankees fans would kill for right now. When I talked to Kay, he said that the end of his show, people called in and they hated Girardi. They wanted change. And here we are with Boone. People hate Boone. They want changes. 2 completely different managers. You got what you asked for. And look, it wasn't bad at first, but it ran its course. Yeah. This is a rare case where we could sit at the New York fans and say, you're not ungrateful. You don't know what you want. It's just these things run their course. And he had his chances. He got to the highest step on the mountain. He just couldn't overcome it. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't. So if the Yankees do go for a new manager, they've been married to analytics forever. Maybe you don't get a guy who's married to analytics. You can't get another yes man for Cashman, but how the Yankees operate. They've had some change. They've made some moves that made our jaws drop, but I think this is just too big for them to do.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I guess even if they bring in a new guy, the question really is like, what will really change? You know what I mean? The way they run, what will really change bringing in a new manager? If Cashman's still around, if Steinbrenner's still around, like what will really change?
It's amazing how it's this one team. Like, you
Yeah,
don't see this anywhere else. You see the blunders maybe once or twice a year from other teams. We're literally on the watch every game for
every
a
night.
costly error, for a mental mistake on the base path. It's every game.
Every
It's
single ball in play, the fans hold their breath because they
We've
don't
never
know if
seen this
it's going
before.
to be made. It's insane. Like we're walking on eggshells watching the Yankees baseball.
We've never seen this consistency of inconsistency before from a team. Okay, done with the Yankees. Goodbye and good riddance. They play again tonight in Texas. Let's get to the Mets now because they lost a freaking stinker last night. Down 5-0. You claw back. You get it to 5-5. Bases were loaded in the bottom of the ninth inning. Oh, actually, hold on, Jeremy. Let me backtrack because the top of the ninth inning is what's more important here. Edwin Diaz manages to get a runner on third base. Not his fault. You let off a leadoff single, soft hit single through the left side of the infield, and a stolen base that gets overthrown to the outfield. You take third. Whatever. Edwin Diaz, in these high leverage situations where you need outs, you don't need – it's certain outs you need. You can't let up productive outs. You need the strikeouts. You need the ground balls. You need pop-ups to the infield. This guy does it. I've never seen a pitcher so calm and so confident in must-have situations and so consistent as well. There was a guy on third, nobody out. He pitched a masterful 1-2-3 after that. I am so confident in Edwin Diaz, and I know we're talking about Ryan Helsley, and he's another closer you could bring in. I mean, Diaz is my guy. Diaz has been the Mets guy. It needs to be Diaz. So that's what happened there. Top of the ninth, man on third, nobody out. Diaz got out of it. Bottom of the ninth inning, bases loaded, one man out. Pete Alonso is 4 for 5 on the day so far. That all goes down the drain with the strikeout swing. He couldn't catch up to the fastball. Jeff McNeil hits a very nicely hit ball up the middle. They had him shifted perfectly, go to extras. Rest is history. The Mets are just in this freaking turmoil right now because they had this extra inning, not extra inning. They had this multi-run comeback against the Giants the series before where they lost in extra innings. It's just a team right now where there's some sort of life and then the air gets taken out of you. And that's just been the formula for the Mets for a while now. And there's one thing that needs to change, Jeremy. That's the starting pitching needs to go deeper. They need to somehow find a way to eat innings. Manaea was cruising. It's become some sort of curse on this rotation. Manaea was cruising up until the sixth inning, and he gets rocked. I don't know what the problem is. The Mets have one starter who can give you 7 innings every night. That's David Peterson. Manaea will get there because I know they were working him back, and that could have been the night last night, but he got him just shelled. But Clay Holmes goes tonight. He'll give you 4 1/3. Kodai Senga, who has been cracking every start, who throws way too many pitches, he'll give you 4 1/3. But you need your guys to go 5, not even 5 plus. You need like 6 at least from these guys. And no one can do it for you. And it's so frustrating every night because you built this super pen, but you can't use it if your starters can't get you to the 7th inning.
Yeah, well, since you asked me questions, I want to throw one at you. Now, do you think that's just because of the guys they have in the rotation? Like, going into the season, I think the biggest question mark with the Mets was their starting rotation, especially because, Manaea was hurt, Senga was hurt. So you had guys who have never really been lengthened out like that. Obviously, Peterson's been great for you guys the past year or two, and Manaea is working his way back, like you mentioned, but those guys can only pitch, once every 5 days. Like, the back 3 guys in the rotation, do you have any confidence that they can get you through a good 5 innings?
No, because how this rotation was built, you needed certain things to work. You needed a 6-man rotation with Griffin Canning and Paul Blackburn if you slotted him in there, because Clay Holmes needed the extra day. Mm-hmm. We knew with Holmes, I said it from opening day, that he was going to fizzle out in the second half, and he'll get slotted back in the bullpen. He's going to need to. He is not going to be able to go out in October and give you a good start. And it's not a knock on Clay Holmes. It's just he's been pushed more than he ever has in his career. With Sean Manaea, I'm very confident in him still because last season he hit a wall in the NLCS. He just couldn't really pitch anymore. But you get him for half a season now. You ease him back in, and by the time September rolls around, I expect Manaea to be firing on all cylinders. He has the stuff already. It's just the term of working him deep in the games. With Senga, I had my hopes for him. He's very injury prone, but that hasn't really been his biggest flaw. His biggest flaw has been even with the ghost fork, which is freaking unhittable. He can't put guys away. He walks too many people. And then the rest of the rotation is a mess. When you get Tyler McGill back, I don't have confidence in McGill. I mean, Paul Blackburn was getting shopped. Nobody took the bait on him. I'm sure we'll see him before the season ends. God forbid why we would. I don't have confidence in the back end of this rotation at all. And ironically enough, Jeremy, I still don't think that's what's going to be the Mets' undoing. I think their undoing is going to be their core and how they all collectively slump at the same time, and they're too streaky. Too many guys are too streaky. That's what I think is going to lose the Mets in October. I don't think it'll be the rotation because you do have bullpen. Like Reed Garrett can go out there and eat innings for you. But if he has to do that every night, that becomes an issue. And that's how it's really been since June. So you have Peterson. Manaea will give you the 7 innings when he's fully back and ready to go. But outside of 2 guys, this rotation sucks. Plain and simple. They suck.
Yeah, that's it. Fair. Yeah, and I think you brought up a good point. Like, yeah, you have guys like Reed Garrett who can go out there and be innings eaters for you guys. But when your core is struggling, I haven't really heard anything about Lindor or Alonso, except last night. I haven't heard anything about them in months, it feels like. Like, if I Jake posted on the story the other day, like Lindor's OPS since like June 13th was like in the 500s.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a thing about Lindor or Alonso or even really Soto in the past, month and a half. I know Soto's obviously been one of probably the best hitter in the Mets lineup, but I feel like I haven't heard anything about the Mets offense in so long. And granted, I'm not turning on my TV at SNY every night because I'm putting it on Yes and watching that disgusting brand of baseball. But even with that being said, like, you're in New York, you would think there'd be something positive said about this team. And I haven't heard anything besides, Diaz in the bullpen in such a long time.
And it's remarkable, too, because the back half of that lineup really did start to hit. And the Mets somehow, they mustered a 7-game win streak out of their core 4 not hitting, or the Fab 4, whatever Steve Cohen wants to call them. And speaking of the Fab 4, where you been? And you're right. Lindor's been in an incredible slump. Alonso has been on one of his cold streaks, and they've been coming back around. Nimmo, Lindor, Alonso, the last 3 or 4 games have been coming back around. Waiting on Soto, and I know he will come back around. But it's just so frustrating that we were sold in the beginning of the year as Mets fans that you were going to have the best 1 through 5 through baseball. And I wholeheartedly believed it because we bought into what Mark Vientos did last year. Juan Soto, what we just saw with the Yankees, how can it get any better than that? Lindor became this unspoken captain of the team, and he got off to a good start, which he never did with the Mets. Pete Alonso had the postseason of a lifetime, and Brandon Nimmo just gave you solid baseball all around. We were sold on that. As Mets fans, we truly believe that you cannot get 1 through 5 out without an incredible fight. Now Vientos bats in the bottom half of the lineup. Now Francisco Lindor has been struggling in the 2-hole. Juan Soto is having probably his worst or second worst season in MLB. Pete Alonso has been really, he's come down to earth, but given the expectations I had for him, I'm happy about that. And Nimmo's giving you good baseball. Some highlights have been there, but it's just what we were sold on. Expectations were too high. The bar was too high. That's on Mets fans. That's on the media. That's on the upper management selling this to us. I don't know. It's just expectations were too high. And last point here, I know that when Cohen took over the team, the plan was 2026. 24, 25 were supposed to be bridge years. And you went on this magical run last year. You landed Soto this year. Like, you're ready to go now. But next year is really the year where we're going to sit there and say, this is it. You're going to have an offseason where I'm guessing you go out and get a good rotation. Soto will be adjusted to playing in Queens. Vientos, everyone will be waiting for a bounce back year. Like next season is the season. The only real question mark you're going to have is if you bring Pete Alonso back. But other than that, you got to be ready to go. Ready to go.
Yeah, I think the way you wrapped it up was fantastic. Going into this offseason, the biggest question mark for the Mets is going to be the starting pitching yet again. But I can't see them shelling out contracts to guys, like the Yankees did with Cole and Max Fried, giving them all that money because that's kind of like that's just not their MO. Like the Mets, I think what they call it the pitching lab. That's what they have.
Yeah.
Between Hefner and whoever's involved. I don't really know how that works on a day-to-day basis, but their pitching lab turns guys into studs. I mean, you saw it in the first half of the year. Clay Holmes was great. Griffin Canning was pretty good. Like the guys they bring in, they can pitch in pretty much any given situation because of their pitching lab. And I don't see them going out and shelling out a huge deal to any one arm. I think they're going to do something similar to what the Yankees did with their lineup this year and, give it a decent amount of money to, like 2 or 3 guys like they did with Goldschmidt and Belly and Williams or whatever they did. The names aren't that important. But I could see the Mets doing something similar to that because, again, I don't see them shelling out a long deal to a starting pitcher because – everyone gets hurt now. Every pitcher has an elbow injury or a shoulder injury or something, and I just feel like it kind of goes against everything that they believe in. I mean, you saw it with DeGrom years ago. He was like your messiah, and he went down, and you saw it with the Verlander and Scherzer deals a couple of years ago, and they pitched fine, and they got hurt. So I think their biggest question mark will be the starting pitching going into the offseason, but I think they're going to find ways to piece it together with bigger names, but with shelling out less money, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and it works, and that's been the Stern MO of just lesser guys, and it's going to be high risk, not a low risk, high reward. But when you have guys, and the whole idea is to make them into a project and see what you can get out of them, that only gets you so far. The Mets, I said this last season when the Mets were going on their run. Their ace was Sean Manaea. Good ace. But you compare him to the other team's aces, and he doesn't really hold a candle to them, to who you're going to have to go up against when it's all said and done. And I think the Mets need that. They need a true ace. And they have a lot of guys in the farm. Like, you'll see Noah McLean get brought up. You'll see Brandon Sproat get brought up. But in 2026, if this is what you have sold to everybody, this is the year you're going to compete, it's going to have to be proven guys. And you have guys like Michael King, who his name has been swirled around the Mets. Dylan Cease, his name has been swirled around the Mets. Those are 2 big free agents this upcoming offseason. I'm sure the Mets will be dipping their hands into one of those guys. Dylan Cease has great stuff with bad numbers this year. That seems like something right up David Stern's alley. Yeah, but that's someone I feel like that you can work out because you've seen it before. Not Frankie Montas.
Frankie No Mas.
Oh my God, no Mas for that was Luis Rojas. No Mas Rojas.
Mas Rojas. Yeah, now he's the lovely Yankees third base coach. He's horrible at that job too. He's so good at it.
Clearly, I mean, dude, what a mess. So yeah, Mets have a lot of problems, but last night was just like a punch in the gut. And now they're 1.5 games back of the Phillies. And I had to get talked down to earth a little bit. There's a lot of recency bias that clouds my judgment. And with, Duran and the Durantula with the Phillies and his insane entrance in Citizens Bank Park, I'm talking everybody say there's no chance. And now you're going to touch the Phillies. And I'm still scared of them, but there's still a lot of hitting problems with the Phillies. The Phillies to me are like I'm trying to think. It's like a media team. They're fun to post, and they're very good. They're like the Padres almost. They're fun, like media team. They can win it all, but I just don't know if they have the true core to. But I mean, Mets fall a game and a half back of the Phillies, and if you lose the division, whether the Mets or the Phillies, whichever team loses the division, they're going to go out early. In my opinion, they are going to go out early because to be in a race like that and such a gut punch of having to be demoted to the wild card or at least an away wild card game, Yeah, that sucks. Look at the Mets in 2022. You blew the division the last week of the season. You're still a 101 win team playing at home in the wild card, and yet you were lifeless. It sucks. It absolutely sucks, but that's just how it goes. Same thing with the Cubs and the Brewers. Whoever loses that out, they're going to have to go into the wild card. It's going to be a lifeless squad. So, whatever. There's a lot to be said there, but that's it for New York talk. Oh, but last thing here. Which loss was more devastating, the Mets or the Yankees loss last night?
I mean, to be fair, I didn't get a chance to watch either. But, I mean, if I was watching a game and I saw Williams trot out there, I would probably think they'd lose the game anyway. You mentioned that Beatty error in the top half. I mean, I'm sure what was it, a routine ground ball that he just sailed through a second?
No, it was a bunt. The bunt strikes again. The
Okay.
bunt was pushed down the third base line. Beatty charged it. He had to throw. Like, he could have got him. But, you're coming across your body. You're charging towards the plate. It's a tough throw, but, again, for how Beatty's played at third this year, you expect him to make that throw.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I think the Mets loss is probably worse, especially because was top of the ninth. Leadoff guy gets on, gets the third base, nobody out. Diaz comes in and shuts the door. You think, all right, there's no way we lose that game, and then obviously you end up losing the game. So that's heartbreaking. With the Yankees on the road in extra innings, you just expect it.
How the game was set up and that Mets comeback, I think that's way more of a gut punch than the Yankees loss. Yeah. I mean, with the Yankees though, in terms of a season outlook, that probably hurts a little more. But with the Mets and how that game was just set up and a 5-run comeback to lose like that after having the chance to walk it, all you have to do is get a ball to the outfield. It sucks. Yep. It hurts. Luis Torrens, by the way, with the runner on third and one out in the bottom of the 10th, down by 2, he sent one to the warning track. I don't know how often. Like, Luis Torrens came probably a couple of feet from tying the game, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But, again, tough managing there because you already used Starling Marte, and you already brought in Torrens to catch for Alvarez, so you couldn't even take him out. It's whatever. It's tough. Tough loss. Brutal. All right, let's get to some league-wide stuff. Let's start with the Red Sox because on their 6-game win streak, they're 8-2 in their last 10. They're putting up runs like it's nobody's business. And the pitching has its question marks. We're not here talking about the Red Sox as a World Series contender. But, Jeremy, these young guys are panning out. It has become more and more evident that Devers was just not needed on this team. They look legit. Like, this lineup, this depth in this lineup looks legit.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, I don't watch them that often, but when it's Yankees, Red Sox, it feels like they do all the little things right with doing the big things right as well. Obviously you have Jarren Duran, you have Alex Bregman, those are the big names. But my favorite guy to watch on the Red Sox is Ceddanne Rafaela. He is a fantastic baseball player. He can do it defensively. He's great with the bat as well. Like, it sucks that he's a Red Sox because he is a complete Yankee killer for the rest of his career as long as he stays there. But the way he plays the game day in and day out, that is how baseball is supposed to be played. This Red Sox team, like you mentioned, they definitely have question marks with their pitching. But you have guys like Garrett Gaucher who go out there every fifth day. That's a game you feel like you're always going to win. And when you're riding high in baseball, you feel like you can't be beat. When the bats are hot and you're putting up, these insane cricket numbers every other day, you're going to go on these big win streaks. And especially, I feel like for teams in the AL East that aren't the Yankees, when they see the Yankees on a skid, it motivates them even more. And I don't know if there's any logic or any numbers behind that. That's just how it feels. It feels like whenever the Yankees are on a bad losing streak or, a bad stretch, it feels like everyone else in the division kind of picks it up. And I feel like the Yankees, Red Sox, it's a huge rivalry, as we know. But a team like the Red Sox, when they see, the big, bad New York Yankees on a skid and they're in a tight wild card race, they want to hop them, of course. They want to jump the Yankees. And again, the way the Red Sox play baseball is selfless. They're a team. That is a baseball team. And again, watching them play is a lot of fun. It sucks that they are in the AL East and they're a huge rival of my favorite team. But I do appreciate the things they do on a baseball field.
And there's plenty of people that you could point at and give credit to. Like, Alex Cora has just really understood this team and he's worked with this team. The young guys have really showed up. Jarren Duran is really crawled back into being a very, very good baseball player over the last couple of weeks or so. He's got his OPS back up to 790. That was in the 750s really all season long. And yeah, you had like Bregman. Willie Abreu has been great. Trevor Story, healthy, has been really good for this team. It's a deep lineup, and you do have the pieces in the rotation. Like you have obviously what Brian Bellows been doing, Garrett Crochet's been doing is great. You have guys that you're on the fence about, like Lucas Giolito could really turn a corner, and all of a sudden you have 3 really high-end starters. The bullpen, you have the pieces there. It's just if this pitching can really lock it down and turn those inconsistencies into just good starts, they're a good team, and they can catch fire. And this is a Red Sox team that if they caught fire in the playoffs, I'd be scared of them. I would be scared of them. If I was Toronto, I'd be scared of them. If I was a top American League team, I'd be scared of them. And you brought up Rafaela. This guy's probably the best defensive center fielder in the game. And to have guys that you could put on defense and know that they are saving runs, it's not flashy watching the game itself all the time, but I always compare it to the Red Sox outfield in 2018. Defensive plays won them games. And that's the exact power that this Red Sox outfield has the opportunity to do. They are just hot. So where do you sit on them now? That'll be my question to you. If the season ended today, where do you sit on them?
I mean, I don't think they're better than Houston. I don't think they're better than Seattle. I don't think they're better than Toronto. But they are a very good wild card team. And again, they're hot. If they can continue to stay hot to the end of the season, into the playoffs, like they're a force to be reckoned with, because every game one, you have Garrett Crochet on the mound. And he is a Cy Young candidate. Obviously, I don't think he's going to win it because Tariq Skubal does pitch in the American League. But, every game one, you have Crochet out on the mound. And when you have a scrappy baseball team like that, with guys like Duran, who has been playing out of his mind recently, and Rafaela, and Alex Bregman with his postseason experience, it'll work come playoff time. And they will just dink and dunk you to death. They will do the little things better than you do. And come October, we see it every year. The team who does the little things the best wins.
Yeah, I mean, I perfectly said. I am very high on the Red Sox right now. I've been high on them really all season. And even when they were playing that 500 ball, I said to myself, like, it's too good of a team. Like, you have too good of a manager. You have too good of players on paper. Their biggest thing was going to be bringing the young guys up. And we saw that was a problem with Marcelo Meyer and Roman Anthony and what was going to happen there. And now all of a sudden you feel like that they're clicking, and it feels good. Like, if you're the Red Sox right now, even if it doesn't pan out this season, this wasn't really a go all in year, even though you've got guys to make it seem like that. If you can make it to the ALDS, if you're a Boston fan, you got to feel good. Yeah, it feels like a success, especially with the young guys that you have. And Devers is off the team, and which is crazy to say because he was their best hitter. He was the only highlight of that team when they all sucked. But Red Sox are good. Let's keep it within going around the league. The Cubbies, they have been playing some 500 baseball for the better part of 2 months now. We saw the Brewers overtake that division, and they're having a dog fight for it now. I'm sure that'll be like that for the rest of the season. But, Jeremy, I'm not high on the Cubs as much as I was. I just don't know if this is a team that really has it to go on a run like we thought they did.
Yeah, one of my best friends from school, my buddy Jack, he's from Chicago. He's a big Cubs fan. And going into the year, we both agreed, like, why are people so high on the Chicago Cubs? We both agreed that we didn't think they had the pitching for it, and I think we're kind of seeing that now. The offense was, lights out to start the year. But when the game of baseball, a long season, the offense is going to have its ups and downs. That's just how it works. But come this time of year, like, I think everyone's flaws really start to show. And I just don't think the Cubs have the pitching to go deep into the playoffs or to win a World Series. And I think we've been seeing that recently. I mean, like you said, playing 500 baseball as of late, and the Brewers are surging, but they have better starting pitching than the Cubs do. And when it comes to October, defense and pitching is what is going to win you games. And the Cubs don't do that nearly as well as the Brewers do. And if the standings hold as they are right now, the Cubs are going to have to go on the road, play a wild card game, You said it maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. That's demoralizing. Like mentally, they're done. That'll probably be, a 2-game sweep that they're on the receiving end of. Maybe it goes to 3 games and they lose. But with a Cubs team who started off so hot, who looked like, the juggernaut of the National League, falling out of first place in the NL Central and falling into a road wildcard game, that's demoralizing for them. And again, I just don't think they have the pitching to kind of get back to where they were to start the season.
Yeah, the deadline was big for them, and they didn't go out there and get their starting pitcher. And I understand the price of a pitcher was extremely high this season, but I mean, look, dude, this is a team that was ready to compete. You had the pieces, man. You still do. It's not like you don't anymore. And I don't really know what one of these low-end starters would have done for you because, I mean, really every starter out there was just kind of a guy that wasn't great, but they'll give you depth. And the Cubs needed a little more than that. And, I mean, it's a great team. On paper, it's a good team, this lineup. It's a great team. And I am one of those guys who do say that starting pitching isn't as important as people make it out to be. The Cubs are my perfect example of that. Not the Cubs. The Brewers are my perfect example of that every postseason. Great pitching, but you need the bats to get there. But you need some pitching. You need decent pitching, at least. And you don't have that 1 through 5. And that is the biggest problem with the Cubbies. It's a lot of guys. There's only one guy in the starting rotation with the ERA under 3. Everyone else has 1.4 or up. Or excuse me, 3 or up. Shota has a 3.25. But it's just that, I don't know. I don't feel good about the Cubs at all. And if I'm a Cubs fan, I'm pretty scared. I think that they peaked in the middle of the season. And I'm not saying that they're done for, but I said at the beginning of the year, it's the Brewers division to lose. Someone's going to have to overtake them, and just does not seem to be the case. The Brewers, no matter what, I'll say it again. I always say it. Stick Jeremy at shortstop, Oliveri in right field. We're coming away with 90 wins.
It's like the Breezes.
Big playoff game this Saturday.
That may be more watchable than Yankees baseball at the moment.
You make just as many errors, maybe less, honestly.
This past weekend we were very clean on the field.
Good for us. But yeah, okay, so those two are done. I do want to talk about Schwarber because Kyle Schwarber is putting up MVP-like numbers. And if the season ended today, Schwarber would have my vote for MVP. Dude's a stud. Dude is an absolute animal. You want to talk about strikeouts as being his biggest flaw? Shohei Ohtani has more strikeouts than Kyle Schwarber. He's my MVP. Guy's unnatural. And don't give me the DH excuse because the DH won it last year. So don't go out there and say he doesn't play the field. You can't use that excuse anymore. Schwarber's my MVP. Guy's an animal. 40 home runs already, and it's August 5th. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I feel like he's a guy who gets talked about a lot throughout the season. He's your unconventional leadoff hitter. In years past, he was batting like the low 200s. This year, pretty much 260. You mentioned the 40 homers, 94 RBIs. Dude, it's early August. Like, he's going to have, somewhere around 50, 55 home runs probably, 130-ish RBIs. And I don't think Ohtani's going to come anywhere close to that. And I'm sure there's going to be some voter fatigue. Kyle Schwarber has completely ignited this Phillies lineup. They were slumping for a little while, I believe in July, and then Schwarber comes out of nowhere and just starts tearing it up. And I feel like he's kind of the guy that they go off of. Every team has that guy who, if they're hitting, their team will follow suit. Like the Mets, I feel like it's Lindor. With the Yankees, obviously it's Judge. With the Phillies, I feel like Kyle Schwarber's kind of like their Energizer Bunny type of guy, and they go as he goes. And if he's going to continue on an MVP pace, watch out for the Phillies.
I mean, I'd go as far to say he's their star. Bryce Harper gets that superstar moniker, not this season. With the injuries that he had to overcome and how he's been slumping here and there, this is Schwarber's team this season. The guy, it's no longer just the strikeout or bust type of guy. He's doing it all. He's taking his walks because guys don't want to pitch to him. And he is smacking the piss out of the ball. He's fun to watch. He is electric. Now, I have a question because this is interesting. If Schwarber goes into the Hall of Fame one day, which I don't know his career numbers, but let's just say for the sake of things he will, and he doesn't win a ring with the Phillies, who does he go in with?
The Dodgers?
No, I don't know. Because he won a World Series with the Cubs in 2016. But
I forgot he was in that team. I forgot he was there.
But dude, like I look at his numbers and I look at the best years of his career. He should be a Philly. I think he should be one of those rare guys. If he doesn't win a ring with Philadelphia, he'll go in as a Philly. His numbers are too good. They're too undeniably good in Philadelphia to make him go in as a Cub. I mean, a complete career research. How old is he? This is the real question here. Let me look this up here.
What was your question again? I completely missed it.
Who does he go into the Hall of Fame with?
Oh, yeah. I thought you said who was he going to sign with if he doesn't want to ring in Philly. Yeah, no, I agree. The Philly. I mean, his numbers have been great. He's probably been their best player since he's been there.
He's 32 years old. He doesn't play the field, so you don't have to worry about his defense like slowing him down. I mean, let's see. When is this? They just extend him. He's done. Oh, actually, he's a free agent this season. At the end of this year, he's a free agent. Tell you what, dude, if I was Stearns,
he's going to get paid. Yeah.
He's going to get paid. Schwarber is going to get paid. Another one of these guys in a walk year. Another one of these guys doing it, getting it done.
I will take him.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's probably what Stearns hates. The strikeout or bust type of player, but not this year. I mean, just looking at these stats, Shohei Ohtani is a 978 OPS. Schwarber is a 975. Eclipses him in the home runs, the RBIs. I mean, obviously, Judge is, and I think 1,100 still with his OPS, so he's not giving that up. And it's just that, man, like Schwarber is freaking good, dude. Like, he's good.
He's a very good baseball player. He kind of gets overlooked because of Harper and Turner and the other guys in that lineup, but Schwarber is legit. He's a stud.
I think if we walked the streets of Philadelphia and asked who their favorite Philly is, I think Schwarber would win hands down.
Yeah, I think he'd be the overwhelming answer because he's just like a cool guy to root for, I think, too. Like, if you look at him,
he is.
He's like a big teddy bear, you know what I mean?
Because it's one thing to be the fan favorite and like not be the best player, but now you're the fan favorite and hands down the best player on your team this season. That's just guys running away with it. Dude's unbelievable. All right. Schwarber talk done. Do we have anything else league-wide? I think that was it. Yeah, talk about the Cubbies, Phillies, unstoppable. We brought them in there. Oh, yeah, Schwarber. One last thing here. Oh my God, I had it last night. Hold on. Let me get my good friend Google up for a second. Google. He is the man, Google. Because I know my answer. I know who my answer is. I just need to know the specifics of the answer. Here we go. So, oh my God, you freaking idiot. Hold on. Stay with me here.
I'm here.
Oh my God. I had this last time. I looked up last night who had the lowest batting average to win MVP. And now I look it up again, and it's giving me all the pitchers who won MVP who had zero batting averages, which is just outstanding.
That's helpful.
The answer is Shohei Ohtani. I know the answer was Shohei Ohtani. I remember it being Shohei Ohtani. I can't believe
what the number was.
It was in the 250s. And it's just that I was thinking about Schwarber winning MVP. And he's probably going to win MVP with the lowest batting average ever to win MVP. And he's close to Ohtani. I think Ohtani was like 251, but he pitched that year. So the average was so much. Mm-hmm. Schwarber's a 257 average this season. So I'm sure it'll hover around 260 until the season ends. But oh my God. Of course, now that what did I look up? Hold on. One last time. Who has had the lowest batting average to win MVP? Here we go. Oh my God. Now it's giving me someone else. Now it's giving me Jim Constantine, who had 257. I hate Google, bro. I'm over it.
Google is not the man.
Ohtani had a lower one. Ohtani had a lower one. Whatever. Point is, Schwarber can win MVP with the lowest batting average ever for the award. That's my point. I'm done. And we don't even measure average anymore. We measure OPS these days. Whatever. Okay. Last thing here, Jeremy. I'm going to give you a random stat that I found last night on Baseball Savant. Was unintentional, but it was just in the top right corner of my page, so I thought it would be fun to try and guess to here. This is called the blast percentage. This is the stat. Blast. It's the name of it. Do you want to try and give me a definition of the blast metric?
Well, I think I would need to ask, is that a hitting stat?
This is a hitting stat, yes.
A definition for that, the percentage of balls in play that are hit like 107 miles an hour or harder.
No, unfortunately for Savant, that'd be too non-specific, but you are in the right boat. A blast, here we go, in StatCast terms, I have the definition up right now. And I quote, when a batter squares up a ball and does so with a high bat speed. So basically, it's squaring up a ball with a certain bat speed, which it does not define to what bat speed it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Due to the combination of squared up rate and swing speed, the qualification for a blast are on a rolling scale based on the interaction of one metric with the other. The strict definition of a blast is squared up percentage times 100 plus bat speed, which comes out to 164. Stay with me here. But an easier shorthand way to consider it is that an average between the hitter's squared up percentage and bat speed on a swing has to be at least 82 in order for that swing to be a blast. Drinking game, how many times did I say swing and blast in that sentence?
That is the biggest made up stat ever.
So, Jeremy, I gave you the blast definition, squared up ball plus bat speed. Can you give me the top 5 in this stat?
Yeah. So what I did as you're reading that definition, I just went on Savant and looked at the guys who lead the league in bat speed. I figured that would be okay to do.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna, I figured it'd be a lot easier because some of these names I wouldn't have just thought of on my own. So I'm gonna say O'Neal Cruz has got to be up there.
No, he's not top 5.
Okay. Judge.
Judge is not in there.
Schwarber.
Schwarber is 5th with
Okay,
18.7%.
What about Junior Caminero?
No, but there is a Ray in there.
Okay. Brandon Lau.
No.
Yandy Diaz.
Yes, he is 3rd with 20.5%.
Okay. Vladdy.
Vladdy, up, he's twice. He's 2nd, 21% flat.
So I have 2, 3, 5 right now.
You have 2, 3, and 5. You need 1 and 4. You're not getting one of these. I'll tell you right now. One of these guys is ridiculous. I don't know how he's here.
What about James Wood?
No, you could get one.
Okay. What about Shohei?
No, he's not there.
Wow. All right. Can I get the league that they're in?
National League.
Both of them.
No. First place is National League.
Okay, so we'll do that first. What about IKF?
Oh, IKF, I love that, but no.
All right, National League. Jesus Sanchez.
No.
Kyle Stowers.
Oh, I love that guess. No.
Otto Lopez.
No.
All right. Well, I think that's all the Marlins that people care about.
This stat is weird. I'm looking at the full list right now. And after you're done guessing, I'm going to read you some of these names in the top 10. And you're just you're going to see why it's just such a bogus stat.
So it's pretty much bat speed and squared up rate combined into some mathematical equation, correct?
Yes. That we tried to define.
Yes. All right. National League. We're Drake Baldwin.
No.
Agustin Ramirez.
You might want to get off of the bat speed here because I think you're just trending far from the right answer.
All right. Let me look at National League teams and go to rosters.
If you need another hint, I give you another hint.
Yeah. Can I get a division?
He's in the NL East.
Okay. Luis Torrens.
No.
Okay. NL East. That makes it a lot easier. All right. So I'm just going to go down different rosters here. We're like Brandon Marsh.
No, wow, Brandon Marsh. I forgot that guy existed.
Otto Kemp.
No.
Bryson Stott.
No.
All right. Is he a Philly?
Bryson Stott. He's not a Philly.
Okay, so let's get off the Philly. Is he a Met?
He's a Met.
Okay.
Really one of two guys now for the Mets. I think you could. It's really just a toss-up here.
Well, if it's a guy that is surprising, it's not going to be Juan Soto. Oh, is it Brett Beatty?
It's not Brett Beatty.
I haven't. What about McNeil?
No, maybe the surprising factor threw you off. Number 1 is not surprising. Number 4 is surprising.
Juan Soto?
Juan Soto is first.
Okay, that should have been an easy guess. Okay.
I don't even know if you're going to get 4
fourth
if
guy?
I give you 100 guesses.
What division?
He's in the AL Central.
AL Central. Okay, so let's go to the AL Central. Mike Talkman.
Wow, Yankees legend. No,
All right. What team is he on?
he's a Royal,
Okay.
not Bobby Witt.
No, it's Miguel Garcia.
Yes,
He's good. He's having a really good year. I mean,
he is
stat is
4th.
made up. He's having a good year.
That is unbelievable, dude. And you're right. You know who 6th is?
Anthony Volpe.
Ben Rice is 6th.
Wow. So you think Boone makes his lineup based off who has a good blast stat?
I mean, dude, this is one of the craziest stats. Just reading this list is unbelievable because you have superstars who are ranked 50 and below.
Right. How'd you even find that stat? I'm on Savant right now.
I just went to the homepage and I was just looking up news, let's see, what can we talk about? And it came up in my top right corner. Top 25 top performers caught my eye. And blast percentage. That's a new one. Never heard of it before.
I'm trying to find it right now.
But yeah, that is one hell of a roller coaster that we were on. Alejandro Kirk is 7th. He's having a good year. Ohtani's 10th. I mean, dude, I don't even know where Aaron Judge is on this. I don't even see Judge.
I found it. I'm looking right now.
George Springer is 69th.
All right, so give me the definition. How'd you see who's leading in this thing?
If you go to it, there's the definition that you could click on, and to the right of that is view complete leaderboard.
Let me zoom in on it. I'm split screen right now.
I mean, Summit Junior Caminero is 23rd. This is one of the most unbelievable. Kyle Tucker is 83rd.
This makes no sense.
Brent Rooker is 84th. There is Volpe, 85th. Nice.
Yeah.
Top 100. Cal Raleigh, who might win AL MVP with the absence of Judge, is 91st. Kyle Stowers is 98th. I don't know. I don't even know where Judge is. I can't find Judge on this. Just past Bellinger. PCA is 155. Unbelievable. I haven't seen Lindor yet. That's unbelievable. It only ranks up to 216th. Luis Arraez, last place.
Wow.
I mean, I expected.
I can't find this thing. I don't know how to use this website.
All right.
So I'll just exit out and then move on.
All right, that'll do it. That was enough of our game. That went on for that just became a fascination of a made up stat. But
stupid stat.
That'll do it here from No Good Takes. Jeremy Horowitz, Giuseppe Oliveri saying thank you so much for watching, and remember to check out everything else we got. Burrows with Mike and Bunk, Playbook with Gabe. Mike has Mic'd Up, Bunk has the Bunker. JM and Mike make up the Hardline Sports Talk. We are the idiots on No Good Takes. Keep in mind, we got a good, hard schedule starting next week. We are really locking down. We are trying to make a big push here at BTO Media, and it will be a fun one to look at. And that'll do it, man. Thank you so much for watching. A couple of idiots talking about sports with a platform. Lucky enough to do it. And remember a few things here. Go baseball. We'll be talking about football soon. And hopefully, next episode, we're talking about the Mets and Yankees in a different light. Thank you so much for watching. So long.